Now, June is Pride Month, and of course we will be celebrating that here at Loose Women. Today we're joined by a real LGBTQ plus trailblazer, actor Riley Carter Millington. Now, in 2015, Riley became British soap's first transgender actor to play a transgender role as Kyle Slater in Eastenders. So here to share his story, please welcome Riley Carter Millington. And nice to see, and it's very nice to see you here because last time we spoke, we were all in lockdown, weren't we?
Yes, it is. It's surreal. Sat here on the panel now.
But nice to be out and back in the world.
Yeah, I love it. I love meeting people, seeing people in the flesh and looking at the body language and all that.
Oh, yeah, what do we look like?
Amazing people.
What's Janet's body language saying to you?
There's a blue theme in the middle here.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
So Pride Month, important to you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's something that is extremely important, and I think, you know, you always hear people go, why do you need a Pride Month? Like, we'd have a straight month, because you haven't had to fight for your rights. You haven't had to get emotional, speaking about it. You haven't had to fight for what we deserve.
Yeah.
You know,
And are still fighting in a lot of
cases. It's hard that people think that that's something that shouldn't be celebrated. You know?
Yeah, but a lot of progress has been made as the oldest person on the panel
in the world.
I'm sure you've seen the development and the change over the time.
Absolutely. And talking about gay and trans issues has moved into the mainstream now. And it's not regarded as something that only comes up on certain programmes or certain times of day and so on. So,
no, of course, I think there's still a lot to progress, though, because it should just be the norm. It shouldn't be that, like, you know, these things happen and then we have these moments like now to celebrate Pride Month and start that, but also that, you know, it's on a regular basis, that, like, just a normal, like, thing, everyday thing, like, you know.
And you have played a large part in that, obviously with your character on EastEnders. But before we talk about that, take us back, for people that maybe missed you the last time you were on with us. This goes way back to when you were, what, 6 or 7 years old, that you started to feel different.
Yeah, well, younger, really. I was about 3 or 4, so I used to... Get emotional again, sorry. Used to wear my granddad's suits, and my gran would draw... suits out of wallpaper and pin them to my clothes and all that. And I was always encouraged. It wasn't a case of, you know, I wasn't forced to be one role or the other. It was just, you're a kid. And I think at this age, it's important to understand that children play, you know, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we have to decide right now. It just let kids be who they are. Like, we all explore and that's what I was allowed to do.
But when did it, for you, turn from... I'm playing, I'm using my granddad's shirt or playing with this. When did it then turn for you into, I don't feel right in my body?
Well, I first had, when I was 14, a conversation with my best friend, and we came out regarding sexuality. And she was happy, you know, she felt a relief, and I didn't. So I knew there was something else. And, it was just a case of, I can't live like my life forever. And I had panic attacks because I was scared of dying as not the person I wanted to be, you know. I wanted to be an old man with a wife, not like a woman with a husband, like...
But how did you tell your mum? Because that's the biggest... How do you tell your mum anything, especially something like
I mean, my parents, my family, they're amazing. But...
What age were you when you finally told them? 16.
Just turned 16. And I think... regardless of the fact that I had the best family and best support, it's still scary as hell.
Do you think that they knew before you actually told them?
My mum had ideas. I was dropping hints and stuff. I used to play Beyonce's If I Were a Boy over and over again to hope that she could just pick it up from that and I wouldn't have to have a conversation. But I just knew there was something else, and I told her in the middle of peacocks, actually, because I was scared of a reaction. She wouldn't scream and shout.
You were shopping. You were shopping.
Well, we were looking for holiday clothes, and I kept staring at the boys' section, and she was like, well, why don't you go over there? And I was like, well, maybe I will. And I walked over, and I'd already told my sister, actually, and then my mum was like, oh. But then, you know, after... got to understand, for them, even though they're amazing, it was like, what do we do and how can we help our child? Like, they wanted to do what they could.
And people didn't talk about it as openly then?
No, it wasn't as accessible for information. There wasn't as much as there is now. I mean, as much as social media can be damaging at times, it's great for the resources that we have and the fact that these conversations are happening. hopefully someone today is watching and they know that someone like them's on TV and they, you know, there'll be people that can relate.
Yeah.
And you can get information from, but at the time, no, there wasn't
Still
that.
a scary thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, like
For
I was
anyone.
petrified, and because you think, oh my God, my family are going to disown me. Obviously, that wasn't the case. I'm a fortunate case, but unfortunately for some, that does happen. And
I want to ask about when you started at university.
Yep.
How far had your journey gone there?
So I'd been transitioning for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anyone. So it was only when I got the role in Eastenders that I was like, all right, I've actually got to tell people now.
Because you wrote for that role, didn't you?
Well, I emailed the casting director, because I saw that they wanted the character. So I was like, well, I'm at acting, I'm at studying acting, and so I emailed in, got the job, and moved down, and that was that, really, at the age of 21.
Yeah, and then, like you said, you wish you'd had somebody, a character or somebody like that when you were young that represented how you were
feeling. It wasn't that
feeling.
then, was it?
No.
I mean, there was Hayley Cropper, who was obviously a cisgendered actress, and that was about that. And I think the portrayals were all fairly negative, you know, with the butt of the joke or kind of that kind of thing. And now we need to show the positivity and also just blend into normal life. It doesn't always have to be a big character or the tragic story, just... You know.
But that is changing gradually, and you've been very much part of that. Listen, we always love having you on. There's never enough time.
I know. It goes there quick.
Because there's so much about your life and story and the way you are and the way you talk about it so openly, I know helps an awful lot of people. So thank you very much.
Thank you
enjoy Pride Month.
Yes, will do.
And everything else that's going forward ahead of you.
And you smell fantastic.
I know, everyone has said
that. Amazing.
Honestly, I'm sitting like...
Riley Carter Millington, thank you very much. You just smell absolutely lovely. It's a shame it's not smelly vision. And if there is anything that Riley has talked about there which resonates with you and you maybe need some help, helplines are available. They're on the ITV website. Details are there right on your screen now.